What is up, everybody? All right, this is the first try at this, so it's gonna go really well. It is the power rankings post preseason, pre-regular season, kind of in this intermediary week. It is 9 days until the Cowboys start the Buccaneers off with a one loss right there to start the season. So I'm gonna give you all your rankings real fast. And the way that I did it is I rated each of your position groups: quarterback, just your starting two quarterbacks; running back, just your starter two or three based off construction; wide receiver, your top two, three, four, or five, depending on construction; your top tight end, and your then your bench depth. And then at the end, I kind of saw like our rankings for that, and then I'll go back at the very end really rapidly and tell y'all adding in youth, not draft picks, because I don't know how you're going to draft, but adding in just your youth on your roster, where that kind of puts you then. So we'll have two rankings. One of them will take longer with a deep dive on the rosters, and then the second one will go rapidly, just adding in your youth and how I think you're going to be going forward. Keep in mind these opinions are just mine, so they're super subjective. But as the reigning champ and the only champ so far, you have to listen to me. So shut up and deal with it. So we're going to start off number one in 12th place. Cole. No offense, my man. Quarterbacks, I gave you a two because I really didn't like your quarterbacks. I'm pretty disappointed with what you got going on there. The quarterbacks are the most important position in a super flex dynasty. And for you to be rolling out the kind of guys that you are, I felt pretty bad about it. Running backs, I'm going to give you a two as well. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the rosters right now while I go through this because just you had no top guys, right? Here, just give me a second while I do this. Maybe I can pause the recording. That'd be cool. Let's see. And back at the recording now. Yeah, cool. With your Sam Darnold and Carson Wentz, I didn't love it. Obviously, Deshaun Watson. This time last year, we would have loved your quarterback roster, but it's today. It's not a year ago. Running back wise, like I said, Trey Sermon, Ronald Jones, James White. You're banking on those guys. Malcolm Brown, Philip Lindsay. It's a whole bunch of running back threes, full of running back threes. So you'll get some production, and at that point, you need to have a zero RB build, which you have. If you just had good quarterbacks, your team would be really good. Because I think you have a 4.5. I give you a 4.5 out of 5 at wide receiver, with Devontae Adams, Metcalf, Julio, Juju, Michael Thomas. Whoever gave you Michael Thomas is a schmuck, right? No, but your wide receivers are terrific. Tight end, I gave you 3.5. Big fan of that. When you're rolling out Tunyon, which I think he's obviously in a great offense, but he caught 52 of 59 passes last year. Had 59 targets and he got 52 of them. It's ridiculous efficiency. It doesn't happen, along with double-digit touchdowns on that. So I'm a little pessimistic, but it's the same exact offense. So he really could. I think he could duplicate that. And obviously the youth you have with Pat Fryermuth that you got from me as well. Depth-wise, though, only give you a 1.5. Your depth wide receivers are all crap. They're not good. And your depth running backs, like I said, your team's just chock full of running back threes. Unless some injury happens, obviously there's room for that, as there is with any team. And then Davis Mills is on your roster, and he's crap. But so that brings your total to 12.5 for last place. Matt Bell, go ahead and give you right here 13.5 total. Starting off with quarterback, you get a 5 for your two starting quarterbacks: Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Both guys should be top 10 quarterbacks, if not top 5. Tom Brady's got one of the best receiving trios in the league, not to mention he's the GOAT. Running backs, I gave you a 4. I know you're wondering, well, then where's my team bad? Just stay with me. Derrick Henry, Leonard Fournette, Jamal Williams, rather, slept on, absolutely slept on. So your running backs are great. I think you'll end up starting 3, which Jamal Williams lower ceiling than most, obviously, because of Swift, but he should start off strong. But your wide receivers, my lad, absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Your two best receivers are Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. You might as well go get Baker. I might as well get the stack. No, there's just no point. I mean, they're not that good, and they're not projected to be that good. Baker's not going to throw 30 touchdowns, and even if it did, it'd be 15 to each. No way. There's just no way. Their upside super capped. Your guys after that are just not good. So if a 2.5 is average, halfway between kind of 0-ish, and 5, no belief in that. So 1.5 for you, and then your tight ends. Hayden Hurst, second best tight end on his team. Zach Ertz, second best tight end on his team. Eric Ebron. Luckily for him, Pat Fryermuth is a rookie, but I still think he's the second most talented tight end on his team. So all 3 of them, none of them are the best. So I gave you a 1 or a 2 rather at that position. Gave you some upside. That brings your total to 13.5, a full point above Cole. But then that's going to bring us to Jordan here at number 10. Jordan, let me find your squad real fast. Yeah, maybe this year. Maybe. Probably not, though. I give you a 1.5 on quarterbacks, Teddy Bridge and Ryan Fitzpatrick for your starters. And it's gonna be below average. I don't see both of them putting up consistent fantasy numbers for you. I think you're gonna be longing. And your bench isn't much better. Gardner Minshew, Sam Ellinger, Andy Dalton, and now the dropped Cam Newton, right? He'll be a quality backup somewhere. Just yeah, not feeling great about those quarterbacks. Obviously, running back wise though, I gave you a 4.5 out of 5. Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, DeAndre Swift. Is that his name? Sure. Um, Absolute stud of a top three. So feeling good about that. Probably sliding one of those guys into your flex, right? One of your three flexes. Which maybe need to go another running back there because your receivers. I gave you a 2 out of 5. Um, Cole Beasley, Debo, Robbie A, which I like Robbie A, obviously. Tim Patrick, can score some. Antonio Brown will score some. Jacoby Myers might end up being your wide receiver 1, and that's not a compliment. The undrafted free agent, sophomore years. I mean, those guys usually don't consistently put up great numbers. And especially now that his guys got right. It was him and Cam that connected all the time. But we'll see. He's talented, but and Amon-Ra St. Brown might end up being the top target getter from Jared Goff, which, like, what does that even mean, right? But that brings your total to 15 there. Lockhart, I've got you at 15.5 here. So just a half point above Jordan. I give you a 2.5 for your quarterbacks, Lockhart, because you are so average with your quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, obviously stud talent, but it's his rookie year. And after this, it'll be improved. Baker Mayfield is the definition of average at this point in his career. He's just not. I don't know. Let's pull it up real fast. History. Last year, he threw 26 touchdowns. Right, average. He's probably going to throw a couple more interceptions this year. He's just average. Doesn't get a whole lot of carries. Only had 1 touchdown last year. Yeah, he's just average, right? Just like, and so you put that, and then Zach Wilson, obviously, pretty good arm on a bad offense. We'll see what happens. Running back wise, though, I gave you a 3 because I believe in Clyde. Obviously, if J.K. Dobbins is here, you're probably a full point higher with 4. That super sucks. But then Henderson, looks great until they brought in Michelle. You've had some bad luck this offseason. I'm not going to lie to you about that. This isn't all your fault. Raheem Mostert should be a beast when he's healthy. Then I gave you for receivers another 3. Solid upside with Godwin. Solid upside with Boyd. Everything after that is okay, right? Rondell Moore is probably my second favorite receiver on your team. Hollywood Brown's gonna score some, but you never really know when. Just a whole bunch of guys that, if this was best ball, might hit every now and then. But overall, I don't think it's that great. So that gives you to 15.5. And then Ryan here, I actually had you at 10 originally. Then when I made the mistake video, I kept moving you up during that video. So you're gonna slide in right here at if Jordan was at 10, Lockhart was at 9, so it slides you up at 8. Such a cool team, Ryan. I actually like what you have going forward a lot. And that'll come up later. But for right now, for this year, your quarterback upside is tremendous. I gave you a 4. Dak Prescott, Trey Lance, that's terrific. That's all you need. Assuming Trey Lance, once Trey Lance takes the gig, your quarterback game is going to be perfect. Tyrod Taylor's a great bridge quarterback for the time being because he's a quarterback. I don't know. He's not very good, but it'll be great coming off of that. Running back wise, I got to highlight your name here, Ryan. There you are. I gave you a 3. Obviously Jonathan Taylor rather, absolutely amazing. Mike Davis is going to be pretty good, I think, and that's why I kind of bumped you up. I kind of bumped this up to like a 3.5. I gave you another half point. Because you also had AJ Dillon, who I had slept on. If you have Cam Akers, 4.5. This team's ready to rock and roll. That injury to Cam Akers really set you back. Yeah, it just sucks. And so if you had a healthy Cam Akers, we're rolling. Rhamondre Stevenson might end up being a thing. We'll kind of see about that. The better he is, the worse it is for me. And you and I might end up swapping points because of who my starting running back is. Wide receiver wise, I gave you a 3 and bumped this up. I originally gave you a 3. I'm giving you a 4 now. Terry McLaurin, Brandon Ayuk, Laviska Shenault, Jerry Jeudy, T. Higgins, Jalen Reagor. Great. So young, so talented, great receivers on mostly good offenses. It's going to be good for you. I'm very excited for those offenses and what they're going to be doing there. So Montreal up to a 4. And then tight end wise, I think I stuck with this one. I gave you a 2.5, pretty average. Johnny Smith, average with the rookie quarterback now. That Johnson guy from New Orleans who's stealing targets from Troutman, and then Cole Kmet, who's still behind Jimmy Graham. So then in your depth, I gave you a 2. Sorry, I meant to say, I guess I haven't been highlighting the girls' depth, but depth, Ryan, I gave you a 2. And I think I want to bump that up. Yeah, bump that up to a 3 as well. So you really at first I had you at 14.5 points. Add like 2.5 to that, give you like a nice 17, which would put you right around Trapper with 16.5. So I think I kind of tied Joel up. Speaking of Trapper, let's talk about you, the rounding out of the kind of the bottom half here. Trapper, Here we go. I gave you a 5 on quarterback. This is Kyler Murray, Ryan Tannehill, Justin Herbert. Terrific. Could be number 1 quarterback, could be a top 5 in Herbert, should be top 10 in Tannehill. You're the only person with 3 should be top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Running back, I gave you a 4.5. Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, Chase Edmonds, James Robinson. You'll probably be starting all 4 of those guys every single week. After that, it's a little shady, but you'll be starting those 4 guys very often. Wide receiver wise, though, man, I gave you a 2, slightly below average. Cooper Kupp, you need a big year from him, and there's only so much that can go around. They're obviously going to be running the ball a lot this year. Cortland Sutton with terrible quarterback play, already alluded to Bridgewater. And then after that, it's just Jags, man. Just a whole bunch of guys besides Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore is actually legit. He's just a rookie receiver on a bad offense. It's probably not going to go spectacularly for him with a rookie quarterback, right? Those combinations usually aren't electric. But yeah, so that's kind of our bottom half. And there's kind of a jump here to the second half. So I actually see all the guys in the second half is much better than the bottom half. And then when we get to number 1, that person actually I have 2 full points ahead of next. So from Cole through Trapper is only a 4-point difference overall. But then I have 2 points between 1 and 2. So just kind of like illuminate that. So number 6 here is Chase Smith. I can't believe that Chad Sang had him in last. That doesn't make any sense to me. Let's bust it down real fast though. At quarterback, 3.5, well above average, right? Joe Burrow, Big Ben, then which is fine. And then when Justin Fields comes in with his rushing, he's a top 10 upside kind of guy. You're gonna love that combination. Justin Fields and Joe Burrow. That's gonna be terrific for you. Running back, I gave you a 4. I don't like it when people have their own handcuffs. I'm not a fan of that style of offense at all, but it's what you're doing. It's what you're doing for fantasy. You've got Zeke and Tony Pollard. You have Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. Well, technically, you have Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. Let's be real, that Denver backfield is belonging to Javonte Williams. So you're gonna be starting Zeke and Javonte most weeks, I think. And then Carlos Hyde and Kenyon Drake both have great receiving upside. I felt great about that. Receivers, man, here we go. I gave you a 3, slightly above average, because I believe in Kenny G. Kenny Galladay, man, I think I should, right? Those smooth routes of Kenny G. Yeah, I should bring more humor to this. Be a little more lighthearted. Tyra Williams is surprisingly kind of good, right? As long as his feet don't have frostbite. If y'all remember that from a couple years ago. Henry Ruggs, I think, is also good. At least he's fast, right? If they can just complete some of those passes, they should be good. Jalen Waddle, your team would win at a track meet, man. Kenny G, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, Deshaun Jackson, Paris Campbell. No one wants to see your squad on a race. Tyrell Johnson. This is crazy. Brian Edwards, you got from me. This squad's ready to roll. Just slightly above average. It's there's the top end is definitely capped, but a high floor, so it might work out really well. I had you down here, but you easily could climb up. Then your tight ends, Mark Andrews, obviously beast. Blake Jarwin, beast. I gave you a 4.5 on tight end. And then for your depth, I gave you a 3. I like your wide receivers, just your running back depth. You can only have 3 of those guys, 4 of those guys be good at a time. The rest are handcuffs, so then it just replaces it. So your upside's kind of capped there. So I gave you an 18 total, Chase. You and I are actually tied. I should have put you ahead of me if I was nice, but I'm not. Reigning champ gets perks. Put myself at 5th. At quarterback, I gave myself a 5 because of Lamar and Jalen Hurts are my 2 starters. Jalen Hurts is every reason with this. I mean, he's the probably one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the league. So I've got both of them being really good. Then you got Chris Carson and Damian Harris at running back for me. So I gave myself a 3, slightly above average. Both gonna be running back 2s. Actually, that's high end running back 2s. Assuming health and other things, but there we go. Wide receivers, I gave myself a 4.5 out of 5, man. This squad's ready to roll. And this is how I could win the league, is right here. D Hop, Allen Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, Keenan Allen. That's my ticket to success. And my belief is also Darnell Mooney whenever Fields comes on. That's my ticket to success, is winning at quarterback and winning at receiver. I have to do it because I'm banking all of it on that based off my running back play and how thin I am. And then at tight end, I only give myself a 2.5. Gerald Everett, I'm banking on you getting most of the receptions. I think you're pretty good, but we'll see how that goes. And then Irv Smith, unhealthy, and Brevin Jordan, rookie tight end that went in the 5th round and disappointed in his combine. Then my depth though, I gave myself a 3, slightly above average. Got some nice pieces with Mooney, as mentioned, DPJ, who could become the 3rd best receiver on his team, Christian Kirk. I definitely believe in Chris Evans. He went to Michigan, I know, but legitimately pass catching back. Has the kind of upside. And Daryl Gulave for Jacksonville, he could be that guy now that Etienne is gone. I think it'll go to Chenault, but it's possible. So moving into our top four, T-Cock, Dr. Draco Moray, Joey Triviani himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who wore a hat that said cock on it all the way through college and got away with it. Good for him. So for quarterback, T-Cock, I gave you a 4. Russell Wilson and Derek Carr. You got a bona fide quarterback 1 and a bona fide top end quarterback 2. That's terrific. Terrific. So I gave you a 4 for that. The rest of your guys are crap. Running back on a scale of 0 to 5, I gave you a 5.5 because Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley could be running backs 1 and 2. And in case of not, you got David Montgomery right there. Man, well done. Receivers, I gave yourself a 3.5, well above average. Thielen, Wrigley, Aguilar, Devontae Smith. I think I like the talent. We'll just see if my boy can get on the ball, right? If Jalen Hurts can get on the ball. Will Fuller, the rest of these guys aren't good. Le'Veon got dropped by his own team, I think. You definitely have some scrubs on here on your lower end receivers, so you kind of need health at the top. Tight end, gave you what did I give you right here? Tight end, I gave you a 3, above average. Rob Gronkowski, he's good last year whenever he plays. Hunter Henry, same thing. Ferguson, we'll see. OJ Howard. You have 2 tight ends on the same team again. I'm not a huge fan of that, but here we go. So overall, it gives you a 19, a full point ahead of me and Chase. Let's run out the top 3 here. Brent, old man on the block, number 3. My dude, check this out. Quarterback, 4.5. Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford. Boom, boom. If either one of them had more rushing upside, I'd be more into it. It's like, he has Jameis Winston. Also, no rushing upside. But yeah, 4.5, man. Those guys should both be absolute studs on really good offenses. Especially, man, is there any quarterback we're more excited to see this year than Stafford? Seriously, like I maybe that's just me, but I'm pumped to see this offense. Running back, Brent, I gave you a 4. You're rolling Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, a top 5 running back and a top 7 running back. Yeah, I probably should have given you a 5 there, if we're gonna be honest. It wouldn't change your rating. So you can have sure, I'll give you a 0.5 just for the fun of it. You can be closer to Headache. Oh, spoiler alert. But the rest of your running backs weren't very good, which kind of held you back. And obviously, if Etienne is healthy, we're feeling great. It's a completely different feeling. That's why I tried to trade for him from you. Wide receivers, I gave yourself a 4.5. Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Marvin Jones, Justin Jefferson, Mike Williams, Curtis Samuel. Let's go. Love all of those guys. Dede Westbrook and Randall Cobb, they're not worth rostering, but the rest of that is absolutely terrific, man. I love your receivers. Tight end, gave you a solid 2.5, very average. Evan Ingham, Noah Fant, Knox. It's okay, right? It's okay. That's not true. I gave you a 3.5 for those guys. I was like, really? Only a 2.5 for Noah Fant? Noah Fant's a beast. It's Teddy Bridge, man. I don't know if he's the guy. We'll see. Name the tight end that got caught the most passes for what's their faces? New Orleans last time Teddy Bridge played for him. But nobody. You can't. It's just not really a thing. So hopefully he can do it for you. And that gives you a nice 19. I think I gave you another half point, so 19.5. I already spoiled it, but Headache here, number 2. And Headache, man, I want to put you worse. I wanted to put you worse. This is how it came out, though. I did it blind. I didn't worry about the points until the very end. I just kind of put them in on how I felt. And for you to have Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, and Mac Jones and still be the second best team, in my opinion, is frustrating for me. I'm not going to lie to you. That is the definition of average. You are so mediocre at the quarterback position. You are a walking Denver Broncos. I want you to know that. Average at quarterback, great everywhere else. So let's look at that. Running backs, I gave you a bona fide 5. Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson. Boom, boom. That's all you need. Those are 2 top 12 quarterbacks. One of them, or running backs, one of them could be number 1. I mean, that's absolutely terrific. And then Gus Edwards all of a sudden has value, right? Wide receiver wise, I gave you a 4. Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, DJ Chark, Tyler Lockett. 4 out of 5 is no shade. Marquise Callaway now. Just kind of the lack of depth. It's kind of like what happens on one of their bye weeks, like week 9, Mike Evans and Lockett are on bye, right? I think that gets a little touchy for you. Little things like that. But honestly, that receiving core, 4 out of 5. Tight end, you get a 5 because you have Travis Kelce. Yeah. Anyway, and then wait, who did I give? Did I skip over that? Let me highlight this real fast. Yeah, Jordan, I meant to tell you on your tight ends, I gave you a 5.5, man. You have Waller and then you have Pitts. Big time, man. Maybe this year because your tight ends alone. But coming back to Headache, yeah, 5 for that. Then I give you a 4 on depth, man. Terrace Marshall, Marquise Callaway, at your receivers, and then your running backs. There's a bunch of guys that are going to score points. So 4 for you on depth. Total comes to 20.5. And Chad, man, your team, I've got you 2 full points ahead. 2 full points. That's 5% difference, which is really impressive for this. No, 10% difference. I don't know, I said 5. 10% difference between you and the rest. Let's check this out, guys. He's gonna be rolling out for his quarterbacks. At his quarterback position, Josh Allen, his super flex, Matt Ryan. If you believe in Calvin Ridley, you have to believe in Matt Ryan. Running backs, he's gonna start 2. And he's gonna start Joe Mixon and Miles Sanders. Let's go, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Like, well, Miles Sanders, I'm a little low on. Great. Are you low on Gaskin? Maybe I am, but like still though, it's bona fide production. Then check this out at wide receivers. So he's got 2 receivers and 3 flex spots. He can roll out AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, Chase Claypool, Sterling Shepard, Kendrick Bourne, Kiki Kuti got dropped today, Denzel Mims, Jamar Chase. So he has 6 receivers that I feel comfortable starting anytime, any week. It's just absolutely terrific. Tight end, you get a 5 because you have George Kittle, one of the big 3. Depth wise, I give you a 4.5. Like I listed those receivers. Your running backs can all score. I love Kenny G, love Eno, love Gaskin, love David Johnson. Just everybody's going to be scoring points on this team. Solid 22.5. So there you have it. Back again from top to bottom. Chad, Heddick, Brent, Teacock, Justin, Chase, Ryan / Trapper, Lockhart, Jordan, Matt Bell, and Cole. But then if you add in youth real fast, so I'll just highlight this will be really quick. Cole, I gave you a 2 on youth. Matt Bell, I gave you a 0.5. Your team's not young, and I don't love your young talent. Ryan, I gave you a 5. Jordan, 1.5. Lockhart, 4.5. Good for you, man. Trapper 4, Chase 3, Justin 2.5. Disappointing. Teacock 2.5, Brent 3, Heddick 2.5, and a terrifying Chad of 4.5. I'm ready to roll, man. But in 2024, when all my 2023 picks, I've already had a year in. You'll watch out for me. I'll be coming for that reclaim that title. Just kidding, I'm winning it every year. We're not giving it up. So good luck with that, boys. Hey, this is fun. It's gonna be a great season, guys. Keep the trades coming. I love doing that. This is a fun league. Can't wait to take all your money again. And maybe y'all can tell me where to eat next time, and I'll just record it for y'all. Let y'all get to watch me eat a nice steak dinner, treat my wife, get the blooming onion, with the whole thing. All right, boys. Good luck.